Hello, and welcome to the online lecture series, Understanding Corruption. I'm Dr. Michael Breen, and I'm delighted to introduce you to this course, which is brought to you by the Anti-Corruption Research Centre at Dublin City University and generously funded by the Irish Research Council. This series is part of the Corruption, Gender and Sustainable Development Project. Let's start with a brief introduction to the Anti-Corruption Research Centre, or ARC. ARC is Ireland's first academic research centre dedicated to the study of corruption and anti-corruption. We're a multidisciplinary centre bringing together researchers from across DCU's faculties. Our mission is to advance knowledge on the causes and consequences of corruption and to support the development of new anti-corruption policies and initiatives, both in Ireland and globally. Now, what do we mean by corruption? At ARC, we most often define corruption as the abuse of entrusted power for private or personal gain. However, we recognize that corruption is a complex and multifaceted phenomenon. In many places, corruption is a systemic issue, and we should define corruption as an entrenched, systemic problem affecting various levels of society and governance structures. Throughout this course, we will explore corruption from multiple perspectives, encouraging you to critically engage with the concepts of corruption and consider its widespread causes and consequences. A particular emphasis of this lecture series is on the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. The SDGs are a collection of 17 global objectives established by the United Nations in 2015 to address pressing social, economic, and environmental challenges, with the aim of achieving a more sustainable and equitable future for all by the year 2030. Each lecture in this module will show specific links to particular SDGs, highlighting how corruption intersects with and impacts these important global goals. Understanding these connections is essential for comprehensively addressing corruption and its widespread effects. Our lecture series consists of 10 engaging lectures, each approximately 20 to 30 minutes long. The main objectives of this course are to provide a brief overview of corruption, to develop an understanding of how corruption affects different aspects of society, and to inform how corruption influences the achievements of the Sustainable Development Goals. Here's an overview of what you can expect. In our first lecture, Professor Iain McMenamin will cover the topic of corruption and politics. This will be followed by a talk given by Professor Robert Gillanders on corruption and economic growth. Dr. Olesia Zhytkova will discuss corruption and the environment. Professor Eugenie Maiga will discuss corruption and educational development. Dr. Doris Aja Eke will discuss corruption, sextortion, and gender. This will be followed by several further online lectures. Corruption, health, and well-being will be delivered by Dr. Idrissa Waidre Ogo. Corruption, entrepreneurship, and business activities will be delivered by Dr. Roisin Lyons. Dr. Amadou Boli will give a talk on combating corruption. And Dr. Susanna Coro-Ado will give a talk on the political will for combating corruption. Finally, Dr. Fernando Fortini will give a talk on the role of technology in combating corruption. We hope this lecture series will inspire you to think critically about corruption and contribute to the ongoing efforts to combat it. Thank you for joining us on this journey to understand and address one of the most pressing issues of our time. Let's get started.